obviously be in the Natty, one, and two, get a feel for a Big Ten team for the next year.
Yeah, I mean, have you talked about like if you could take the Pac-12 out as national champs? Is that something you guys actually talk about?
Yeah, it's definitely something we've talked about, but really we're just focused on going 1-0 this week and winning the game. Yeah. How you doing?
Well, first off, Bralen, we were down here in Houston, didn't see the send-off, but from all the video, it looked absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was crazy. Walking out and seeing all of our fans. I wasn't expecting that many people because it was raining and it was cloudy and dark out, but they showed up and they showed out, and that's Husky Nation for you.
A week ago, we were hearing about how physical Texas is. Now we're hearing about this great Michigan run game. Just your thoughts. I mean, obviously they're here for a reason. They're good, but your thoughts on what you guys need to do on Monday.
I mean, obviously we got to be tough, be physical out there on the field, right? We say that every week. People doubt us and say we're not physical and not tough, but we prove them wrong every week. But Michigan's a great team. They're a tough team, but we'll go out there and do our best, obviously, to get that dub and be physical and tough, just like anybody else would. And if not, do better.
Looking back at that Oregon State game, and this is a team that had some pretty good running back as well. You guys kind of shut them down pretty good at that wet rain. What is the key to stopping a good run team?
I think the key to stopping a good run team is really just everybody being sound in their assignments, knowing their job, playing as a unit. Because all it takes is one guy to mess up, and the whole thing can crumble, right? So that's really why we pride ourselves on preparation and getting ready for the game, especially when we're facing a team like this.
And last for me, Damian Lillard last night. How much fun was that? Getting all the
that was pretty awesome. Getting all the gear from Adidas. Shout out Adidas. Shout out Dame for pulling up and taking photos with us. But yeah, that was pretty awesome. Thank you.
Hey, Bralen. So, obviously, from the last time you guys played Michigan, it's not just two different teams, but you alluded to the other day, it's like a totally different culture for you guys, right? Could you explain why that is and what a big difference it is from then to now?
Well, I just think in the terms of culture, it's just, it's obviously a completely different team, completely different coaching staff. We still have a few guys here, but that was a while back, and everything's changed, everything's evolved. It's become a completely different setting for us. We have a better mindset as a team. We're more prepared, both physically and mentally, for a game like this. And I just think, we've made it this far because of how we prep for games and how we've been, taught to be athletes by our coaches, obviously. And it's a completely different feeling going into this game, knowing that we have that confidence to take the dub. Because in the past, I didn't really feel that. I didn't feel that in the past. But now, obviously, we have a great team, and we carry around that confidence and that swag when we come into games, and it's gotten us far, and it's gotten us all the way here.
I think on that teleconference, the way you described it was you guys are winners now.
Yeah.
What has turned you guys into being winners?
Obviously, I would say our coaching staff. I think in the past, I wouldn't speak badly on any coaching staff. Obviously, I'm grateful and blessed to have the coaches that I've had in the past. But I think now it's, we have this culture of winning and being a player-led team. And in the past, I felt like there was just mindsets, just people not fully bought in, not fully, bought into the culture. And now it's completely different. The entire team, all 120 guys now, are completely bought into the culture, completely bought into the program, our coaches and everything. So that's what I mean when I say we're winners now. Like, everybody has that mindset that we need to get to this level. Thank you. Yeah. Let me move this up. Thank you. Oh, it's a dry.
Hey Bralen, how's it going? Just what does this week look like for you? What was the send-off at Husky Stadium like yesterday?
The send-off was great. Everybody showed up and showed out. Everybody was there, brought that energy, that Husky energy that we have in the stadium. They brought it out front for us when we were getting on the buses, and it was awesome to see that we had that many people show up for us, especially for something like a send-off. You wouldn't think that many people would show up in the rain, but they did. So it really just shows the love that Husky Nation and our alumni and all of our fans have for us. But this week for us has just been, full of preparation as it should. And, same thing we always do is getting ready to go 1-0.
What's that feeling like when a national championship hasn't been won at Washington in 32 years and you have an entire school city rallying around you?
It's obviously obviously feels like a weight on your shoulders, but it's a good weight. It's kind of like it's that pressure that gives you that drive to be great, and that's all I can say is it's a great feeling to know that we have the opportunity to get out here and get a natty, and it hasn't been a while since we've got one, and it'll be the last chance for a Pac-12 team to get one. So it's a great feeling, and I'm blessed and grateful to be in this seat.
This team has won 21 games in a row, beat a lot of really good teams along the way.
Yeah.
What's left to prove?
Everything, right? I mean, we can sit here and say that we're a great team and we're undefeated, but none of that matters right now. Tui brought it up the other day. I think it was on something. He's talking about how we were talked to in the beginning of training, and it was we're supposed to go 1-0 every week, not just focus on beating every team. We just got to focus on going 1-0 that week, and that's what we talk about all the time, and that's really all we're focused on right now.
What's the number one key for you if you look up at NRG Stadium after the game and you're a national champion? What happened in that game to make that happen?
Everybody playing at a high level and playing as a unit. No individuals, all team players, because that's what it takes to win a game like this, I think. Thank you.
When you look at this Michigan offense, they're very multiple. Jim Harbaugh teams are always built very strong in the trenches. They have a really compact running game, and then J.J. McCarthy is very, very athletic. When you scout, when you look at the tape of this Michigan offense, what do they do well? What's kind of the biggest point of emphasis for your defense to be able to win against their offense?
Watching them, I think something they do really well is playing as a team, as a unit, especially up front. Their O-line, they're good at communicating. They know their role, they know their job, and they can trust the guy next to them to do what they need to do. So going up against the O-line like that, we got to be really prepared. We got to be, good in our communication and our calls, because it's not like they're not an O-line that you can pick apart a certain guy up front. They're one solid unit. So you got to really work together well on the D-line to get that done. Hi. In my eyes, I'm just really proud that I can be in this position, especially with my team out here. I'm just proud of the guys, proud of the work they put in and everything that it's taken to get to this point, right? It's an awesome feeling to know that we got Husky Nation and our alumni and all of our fans on our back. You can really feel the love from them back home and obviously out here, over social media and everything like that. But it's just an awesome feeling to know that we get this opportunity to go out with a bang in the Pac-12, right? The defense? I think defense has made most improvement, I think, in terms of leadership and I'd say communication. I think that our communication on defense is at another level now than it was in the past. And that plays a huge role across the defense. You can't play defense if no one's talking. If everybody's quiet, that just means that nobody's confident in their calls and their plays. And when we're out there at practice and out there in the games, I mean, everybody's screaming left and right at each other, talking, and that's something I really noticed this past year that we've taken the next step in. So, yeah.
Hi. I'm wondering if you could think back to when you were a senior in high school to now, and just kind of all the changes that have taken place in college sports.
Yeah.
And if you could look forward 4 years from now, what do you think college football is going to look like?
You know, as a senior in high school, I wasn't really. I was focused on high school football first, obviously. I was thinking about college football. I wasn't thinking about it too much, but watching it, it was something. It was a spectacle for me. You know, it was better than watching the NFL, right? But I'd say 4 years from now, looking back at college football or looking at what it might be, I honestly couldn't give you an answer because it's going to change a lot this next year, right? I mean, the Pac-12 is going to be gone. They're going to be moving into that 12-team, whatever you call it. But I think it's going to be awesome to watch, actually, because it's going to be a good change, right? But it'll definitely be really different from the past, obviously.
Jim Harbaugh, when he was up here a while ago, was very forceful about the need for revenue sharing and talking about every administrator and coach ought to take a 10% pay cut and put it in a pot and give it to the players. How do you have a sense? I mean, like do you think like players think that that's going to be happening?
I haven't heard too much about that, and we haven't really spoke about it. But if something like that were to happen, I don't think it'd be a terrible thing because I see I got 115 dudes around me every day. I see what dudes go through every day, and I know the struggles guys have with finances, right? I mean, we're grateful to be able to get stipends and NIL, but sometimes it's just not enough. You gotta take care of your guys just as much as you take care of your coaches, right? I think it's important. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely see the money that's generated, right? And all that stems from our players, right? I mean, not you guys, but there wouldn't be football if it weren't for the players out here, right? So I think it's definitely an important thing that we focus on players more in the future. Yeah, thank you.
You waited your turn in like 2 years, really 3 years.
Yeah.
What is it about this roster, the mentality as a whole, that's willing to wait, has much experience and longevity?
That's willing to wait, like in terms of trusting the process and stuff like that.
I think a lot of people want to transfer, like a lot of positions, y'all stayed together.
Yeah, I think it always stems back to brotherhood that we have in our team and in our locker room and on the field and everything. It's different from a lot of teams. You know, we have a bond that it goes past the transfer portal and NIL and stuff like that. So I don't really think it can be broken in terms of money and all that stuff, right? That's why you seen this past year a lot of guys stayed because a lot of guys wanted to just win a championship together, right? Because that's what our goal was last year. We didn't get there, and we got there this year. So.
Britt, how much is? I was going to ask, how much is the experience in this roster? I think you only have one.
Yeah, I think it's huge. Experience is obviously, it gives you an upper hand in a lot of senses, but I think it plays a big role in why we're at where we're at, right? And that takes me back to the reason everybody stayed together, right? We knew we had the opportunity to get to where we're at if guys stayed around and stuck it out together, and not stuck it out, but really just stayed together and owned up to that brotherhood and that promise to each other. So, yeah.
Bralen, repping the Pac-12 in its last hurrah. How important is that to you right now?
It's huge for me. Coming from where I came in the past, obviously, I think repping the last hurrah, as you said, for the Pac-12 is awesome. Especially just the level of disrespect that Pac-12 gets across the nation. So to be that Pac-12 team that made it this far and is getting the opportunity to take home a natty is huge in the last year for the Pac-12.
How would you characterize the disrespect that you talk about?
I won't go into too much detail about it, but I mean, I think people have this mindset that the Pac-12 and the west side of the nation is just weaker in football, but that's not true. I mean, you see, we played against tough teams every week, right? And you've seen how far we got, so I don't think that argument is really valid for people anymore. Yeah.
Bralen,
for a team like Michigan that uses a lot of heavy personnel and things like that, what are some of the things that you can do if you're getting chipped or if there's a tight end on your side to still try and impact the game as a rusher, whether there's extra bodies there or not?
I'll go back to always saying I just do my job, right? I mean, regardless of if they're chipping or if they're double teaming or then they're these heavy personnels, right? It just comes down to doing your job, because if I'm getting chipped, that means that there's one less guy to block somebody behind me or to my right or to my left, right? So that's the most important thing, is we do our job across the board and play as a unit.
They had some games where they ran a lot between the tackles, and then against Alabama they had some more perimeter runs. What is the most difficult part about setting an effective edge for perimeter runs?
The most difficult part is obviously, I have to say, the physicality part of it. It takes a toll on your body, right? But if you're stout in your assignments and you really prepared throughout the week and your body's feeling good, then you can set that edge pretty well, as long as you get a low base, and do your job, right? Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, Bralen. So Pac-12 plays defense. I think that's what we proved to everybody.
Yeah.
When you have two tackles like this that you're going up against and you see them on film, is it something that's instinctively when you play, you know if you're going to bull rush and swim, or have you already thought about exactly methodically how you're going to get around these two tackles?
Yeah, I don't go into games like freestyling it, right? I watch the film and I prepare, and I know what kind of tackle they are, their play style, how they work in the pass game, how they work in the run game. So I definitely go into the game with a preset mindset on how I'm going to play against them. But obviously that can change when I get into the game, right? They could start playing differently. They could start doing different pass sets, different run sets. It's all different, So.
Have you guys seen at all who the officiating crew is for this game and the heavy amount of flags? They average about 14 flags per game. Like, are you conscious of, if you get to J.J. McCarthy, like where you exactly have to hit him?
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously a big part of the game, right? But we're not really focused on that, right? We're focused on winning. Thank you.
Bralen, on a lighter note, this is obviously we've got a couple of big games in a row. Got the Rose Bowl, and that could be the championship game. What's been your favorite kind of swag that you guys got for this stuff?
In terms of Adidas, or like
whatever you guys got,
just
from Bulls, from whatever, or maybe stuff you've heard you're gonna get for the national championship.
I like this sweatsuit. It's pretty nice. It's one of the nicer sweatsuits Adidas has given us the past two years, I'd say. And it's comfy, and we got it today, and it looks good, right? Thank you.
This matchup with your defense, I talked to Greg McElroy earlier today. He said he feels like you guys are a little underrated. And when you see this Michigan offensive line, is it very similar to what you see every day in practice with yours? I mean, these are two really good offensive fronts.
Yeah, Michigan's offensive line is good. You can't take that away from them. But I think it's similar to what we see every day in practice, right? Especially during fall camp, we go against the ones every day, good on good. We have Joe Moore award winners on our team, and getting reps against them every day is more than I could ask for, right? It sets me up for success and gets me right in terms of preparation. So I think, going against my guys every day will definitely set me up for them.
What is unique about their running game? I mean, in some ways it just seems kind of straightforward, but is there anything they do that mixes things up that can confuse the defense that you have to be ready for?
Yeah, there's a few things, but I mean, we're prepared for that. Yeah. It's an amazing feeling. But as a little kid, I didn't play football. I didn't start till 7th grade, late 6th grade. I don't know, but as a little kid, I didn't think about it much. But in high school, it was obviously something that I saw and I was dreamed about, and I was had aspirations to get there. And finally being here is a great feeling. the hard work and the preparation and the hours and the days and the weeks that we put into this is huge. You know, it took a long time to get here, and we're finally here, so it feels good.
That you're here, like
yeah, it's finally set in, but yeah, I'm just focused on winning this game, right? So we can go home celebrating, you know.
Last question. It is year 10 for the CF game. The last game that we played in this format. What does it mean to you to be playing for the last game?
To me, it's pretty cool, right? The last time they're going to be doing this, I'll be part of it, right? I haven't really thought about it too much, but it'll be cool to see, or it'll be interesting to see how it changes in the future. Thank you.
I wanted to ask you about this time last year. What was the process for you in terms of deciding going pro, staying in school?
For me, I really knew I was coming back just because I really wanted to win a championship with the guys that I had on my team. And I needed to graduate too. There was that. I promised my mom I would graduate. So this time last year, it didn't really. I wasn't really thinking about going pro at all. I had my mindset.
How did you look at the rest of the guys? I mean, you guys were all kind of going through that at the same time.
Yeah.
What did you think if those guys wanted to stick around?
Like I said, we talked in the locker room, so we knew who was going to stick around, who was thinking about maybe leaving. But at the end of the day, all we had to do was trust each other that we were going to stick around and go for that championship, go for that natty, and we're here now.
Was there anybody you had to recruit to stay?
No, not really. Pretty much everybody was, had their mindset that they wanted to be here. Yeah.
Did you get draft feedback? Did you kind of see where you were at?
Yeah, I got draft feedback. Obviously, it's never what you want it to be, right? But I'm grateful that I got that feedback and I was able to work on it throughout the season, and I'll be able to continue working on it after this. So.
Was it like a stay in school mid-round kind of thing, or what were you doing?
It was, pretty much stay in school. But I mean, I could have left, but I had my mindset on staying anyways, so it didn't really matter to me.
For sure. Obviously, college football's changed since you've been in school, but so I'm curious, how much did the Mountain Lake Futures piece of that kind of factor in as you're figuring out, staying in school for the year?
Yeah, I'll stand on it. I remember talking to Coach DeBoer, and we were talking about NIL and Mountain Lake Futures and stuff, and I remember telling him, I could care less about that stuff, to be honest. That's just not how I am. It's how I was raised. But I was more focused on winning games with the guys next to me, to be honest. And money doesn't really play a factor to that for me. Yeah.
What does it mean that just this crew stuck together and has made this run?
It's a great feeling that everybody stuck together and we got this far together, right? Just the grind that we've been through together, the hours that we put in. It's a lot of work, blood, sweat, and tears, like they say. So it's a good feeling to know that we were able to, go undefeated and get where we're at. Yeah.
So Kevin, what is it for you that really gets you locked in and ready?
For me, it's music and prayer, right? I spend my time praying the night before, reading my Bible, doing my devotions. Come morning time, I'm sitting there praying when I get up, go to breakfast. The rest of the day it's music, and right before that game starts and we're in the locker room, I'm praying and get on the field and, just know that the only person I fear is God, right? So, nobody can hurt me.
Bralen, you've seen what Michael can do on the field. You've seen him show up to the high school trophy ceremony with every player's name on the inside of his jacket. What has he meant to this team?
Can you repeat?
What has Michael meant to this team?
Mike's meant obviously a lot to us, right? He's our quarterback. He runs the offense. He runs the team. He's a leader on this team. I'm grateful that he stayed with us, and I'm grateful that he even came over to UW, right? He helped change our program, turn our program around, right? But he's a good guy on and off the field, and he's just going to be. I know he's going to be great at the next level, and we're all proud of him. And I know he's proud of us as a team, so it's good to have a leader like that.
What would winning a national championship mean to you?
To me, dream come true, right? I'd be insanely proud to be able to wear that on my back and on my sleeve, I should say, actually, and be able to come home to the alumni and the fans and Husky Nation and just be able to show them that, we were able to grind it out all season and go into this game mentally prepared, physically prepared, and come home with a win.
How has this team used the underdog's role in
we use it as motivation because it just, it puts our back against the wall, right? We don't like to think about it too much, but it gets us ready mentally because obviously we can be upset that's the way it is, but I'm grateful that we have that. I'm grateful that we're underdogs, right? Because my guys won't walk around like we're the big shots, right? It can feel like that sometimes in settings like this, but that's not what we want. We want guys on our team. We want myself to be humble and to walk around knowing that, we should be grateful for where we're at and blessed for where we're at, and just know that it's good that we have our back against the wall. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Hi, Bralen. J.J. McCarthy is pretty unpredictable as a quarterback. How do you prepare for that, especially as scrambling as a level?
Yeah, I've seen quarterbacks like him before, obviously, but he's a different caliber in and of himself. He's a great player. He can move around. He can toss the ball. He's slippery. He likes to, keep moving, but he's a great leader on their team. I'll give him props for that, but I think we're well prepared. We'll continue preparing for him and his offense, and that's all I can really say. Thank you. Thank you. I'm great. How are you?
Good. How the questions been so far?
Pretty good, yeah.
Very good. For you, thinking back to the journey this program's been on, are you able to take into account, even while you're preparing here, how far you guys have come and just what it means to you guys personally, but also the program as a whole?
Yeah, personally and as a whole, I think how the road that we've taken to get to where we're at has really humbled us. I firsthand, obviously, I know that the time that we've put into it, the hours, blood, sweat, and tears, right? The extra reps that we take when coach is like, all right, we're done, but then our players step up and say, no, we're going to do some more reps. We're going to run a little bit more. We're going to lift a little bit more. We're going to get in the weight room, get extra lifts. We're going to get in with Coach Ben and do some boxing for cardio. So I just know firsthand that my guys prepared insanely well through the season and for the season and to get to this point that we're at.
Did you learn anything about you guys' mental fortitude, I guess, in the Sugar Bowl? Just being a bigger stage, a bigger setting. Is there anything that feels like it's different about this for you guys, or do you feel pretty locked in and it's just...
No, I feel like we're pretty locked in, and it's just another day in the office, right? Business is business as usual, and we're focused on going 1-0 this week, and the rest will take care of itself.
What is playing in all these tight games done to you guys? I mean, coming out of that and winning all of them,
Yeah.
What have you taken from that ability?
I think, playing in games like that and being in situations like that, it really gives us a sense of unity, I guess. When we get in situations like that again, we can just fall back on that knowledge that we've had from the past games. Like, oh, we got this. Like, we don't have to put our heads down and be like, oh, dang, they came back, But I just think I'm just really proud of my team for being able to, not choke in those situations and keep their heads up and keep playing.
So this being the last year of the 14 era, there was a time when the playoff was brand new, right? It's only been 10 years old. Do you remember anything about that transition from the BCS and watching that first game at all?
No, I don't, to be honest.
Yeah.
No.
Is there any significance to you being one of the last two teams in the 4-team era?
Yeah, huge significance, right? I mean, especially, we're the last Pac-12 team to be able to get an opportunity like this. So, yeah, being the last of anything at a level like this is huge, right? So it just gives us a sense of pride for the Pac-12 also, and for our hometown to go out there and do what needs to be done and get business done, right? Thank you.
Yeah, I was going to kind of ask about the Pac-12 dynamic. Do you guys feel that it's like, obviously, there's enough reason to be excited about the national championship on its own, like the West Coast is behind you in a way that is unusual?
Yeah. It's not really unusual, I'd say. It was weird at first, but just looking at social media and looking at all the comments, I can just see the love from other Pac-12 teams and their fans, right? And some coaches too have made comments, right? I think it's awesome to see that we have the Pac-12 backing us, especially when it's the last year for the Pac-12 and the teams involved, and it's awesome to know that our conference has that pride in us and that confidence in us, right?
How important is that legacy piece for how this team could be remembered, both for UW and for the conference?
I think it's pretty important, right? We can set a legacy for Pac-12. We can set a legacy for UW. And for me, I'm really excited about the legacy and the history, that we're gonna put in place for our school, right, and our fans. To be able to bring home a natty after a long time of not having one is a great feeling, and I'm very proud of my guys for getting us this far. I'll say it once, twice, 3 times, over and over again. I'm just proud of everybody that's involved in this.
Rome mentioned after the Sugar Bowl, the '91 team, and that you guys were aware. How much do you know about that team, and kind of how much has that been discussed as the standard of the program?
Yeah, we have guys from that team come talk to us all the time. Give us good notes on how to act on and off the field, how to be part of a team that's going to get this far. From the very beginning, before our first game, we had guys coming and talking to us. So we've gone over the history of the '91 team. We know everything about them. It's awesome to be surrounded by the support from them, and to be able to go into a game versus Michigan. In a natty game too, which is pretty awesome.
Was there one of those guys that stands out? You could drop a name on who was particularly memorable.
I'd have to say I really like Hoffman. I think he's that dude is like a hammer. Just seeing clips, hearing from him in the past, and just knowing how hard that team played and worked together is pretty insane. Yeah.
Bralen, so the Michigan guys were pretty upfront about the fact that so many of them, like your guys, came back, and they came back to be in this game.
Yeah.
How much did obviously you guys had this one last ride, sort of attitude coming back, a lot of your teammates. How much did you guys talk about? We are coming back to be in this game.
The entire time, right? It started with going 1-0 every week, winning the Pac-12 championship, class and integrity, and at the very end, win our bowl game, and then get out to the natty, right? That's our standard. That's what we've been talking about since the very beginning, and we followed the blueprint, and now we're here.
So, coaches are always one game at a time, We don't want to think big picture. Did the coaches sort of allow this group, because it was so experienced, to maybe, did they trust you guys to look beyond, to have to sort of point to bigger goals?
Yeah, I think they trust us to point to bigger goals and look beyond. But Coach DeBoer over there, he's always talking about going 1-0 each week. You got to be here and now, right? You can't think about the future too much. You're going to forget about the present. So I think that's what we really we stand on. And every week, just going 1-0, right? Don't focus on the future, don't focus on the past, focus on what's happening right now in this moment, and that's what our coaches pride ourselves on. So,
Bralen, we look at this team. So many of these guys have been here 3, 4, 5, even 6 years. How critical has that been to what this team has accomplished? Just the fact that guys have been together and been here for a long time.
Yeah, it's important because it developed that unity and that that cohesion between the team and our teammates, and it brought that maturity and that understanding of what our culture should be and where it should be at, and I think it played a big role in getting us to where we're at right now.
These days, obviously, so many guys transfer. You have teams that are made up with a lot of transfers. So that culture piece, I would imagine, is probably harder to build in that scenario. So with you guys, did it become easier to develop and sustain culture because guys have been around?
Yeah, because that, I like to think of it like the more older guys stay around, more mature guys stay around, that culture can be carried on to the next group of guys, right? So when Coach DeBoer came in and, you know, taught us how our culture should be and it changed it up for us and got us right, it was obviously a struggle to change that culture from what it was in the past, but we got it down, and from then on, you know, we've just taught the younger guys, taught ourselves more and more about how our culture should be, and I think it's great that we're at where we're at right now because it's gotten us places.
What about from just an on-field standpoint, like just knowing what guys next to you are going to do, like how important is just that familiarity?
Yeah, it's really important, I think, especially on defense, you know, knowing what the guys around you are going to do, because it can set you up for success, and it can set you up to, you know, cover for a guy if something happens, right? But, you know, just playing as a unit is what we pride ourselves on defense, and on Dog D, right? And knowing our job and assignment like the back of our hand.
When Coach DeBoer got here in that staff, what were your first impressions of those guys? Like, what were some of the things that stood out that ultimately feel like have been important to this team?
What stood out to me about the coaching staff when they first got here is like they were just, you know, all for us right away. You know, I think what took some guys some time to buy in is because they weren't like used to the coaches being like, okay, yeah, we're here for you. This is us. You know, we're going to change it up, get you right. But me, myself, I seen that energy that they had and that they brought to the table, and I bought in right away. I was like, I'm all in. Let's ride, you know. So I think it's important that people know that when a new staff comes in like this, especially with the guys that we have, you just gotta trust, you know, trust that they care and that they want us to have big aspirations, and they did. So.
Did that approach become important in keeping some of the guys that decided to come back for extra years?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm good, man. Yeah. Thank you for the water, by the way, too.
Hey, Bill, when you grew up on the West Coast in Arizona, were you like a Pac-10, Pac-12 guy growing up?
No, I didn't really do much football or watch much football growing up. I said that before, but, you know, me, I played every other sport besides football until I got to middle school. You know, I did soccer, baseball, basketball, karate, kayaking, everything, golf. So, yeah, there was just, you know.
So you didn't have like a Pac-10, Pac-12?
No, I didn't. I wasn't a fan of nobody, really.
Not even like in hoops?
No. Yeah.
So I got a good question. Your class in 2019, you see like Bo Nix and guys like that getting made fun of for being old. You guys were in the same class.
Yeah. It's a weird feeling, you know. Obviously, I hear the jokes on the team. You know, I'm an old man, right? But I don't feel like that. I feel like it was just yesterday I came in 2019 and, you know, just got that first feeling of, wow, I really made it here. But, yeah, I'm just excited for where we're at, how far we've gotten. And looking back on it, it's like, man, it's been a journey. And I'm blessed for it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brian, what's up, man?
What's up?
A few softballs for social media. What's your favorite sports movie?
Favorite sports movie? Ooh, that's tough. Rudy?
Rudy.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'll give you that one.
Coach DeBoer had an NIL deal.
Yeah.
What would it be?
Coach DeBoer had an NIL deal. What would it be? I don't know the answer to that one, to be honest.
All right, I'll get it. What's the go-to pregame hype song for you?
For me?
Yeah.
I don't have one for me, but I'd say for the locker room, Ski.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, that's taking over. And who's the most underrated dude on this team?
Underrated dude on this team? I'm going to have to shout out a dude from my position. It's going to be either Durf and Sakai.
There you go.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice break.
It's hard to sit up there for 30, 40
Yeah.
minutes and just keep talking.
I know. My mouth's getting all dry, too. So I need this water. 2-3 years. Yeah, not too long. It was fun though. I enjoyed it. I was more into tennis. Played tennis for like 6 years. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I still got it. Yeah, I was pretty good at it. Yeah.
You know, right now, pickleball is crazy.
I heard it's blowing up.
It's blowing
Yeah.
up everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
I know. I seen it in Seattle all the time. People be playing it.
It's one of those sports that now people can play at all ages.
Yeah.
It's not as intense as tennis, but it still keeps you moving.
Yeah. The cardio with tennis is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Gets your heart beating, running back and forth.
Touch on it before we touch. You mentioned tennis earlier. Are there things like techniques, or even you mentioned the cardio? Are there things you learned from tennis or other sports that you incorporate into your
Yeah, for sure. Looking back on it, tennis, lateral movement, cardio, obviously, basketball, lateral movement, tracking, hand-eye coordination, everything really. Baseball, hand-eye coordination. Baseball is a team sport too, right? So, I mean, most of the time you're just standing around, so you got to really become, a good unit with your team. So that really taught me teamwork in baseball, I think.
Did you play baseball growing up?
I did play baseball growing up, yeah. I did a lot of things.
Long toss that we used to practice with his father, like out on the field, and he was able to incorporate some of that into his training for football. Are there any similar things?
I wouldn't say there's anything really similar besides hand-eye coordination with hitting and throwing and catching, right? I was a catcher, a pitcher, and played outfield too. So. Yeah. I did basketball in high school, track, and football. Yeah, 3-sport, yeah. It was hard at first. It was hard at first as a freshman, but as you kind of you get the hang of it, it becomes easy. And especially because at my high school, it was like all the sports was in one specific area, so I pretty much just lived in that area the whole time. So it wasn't too hard. I go 20 yards outside, and I'm over at the football area. I go the other direction, I'm at baseball. The other direction, I'm at the track. So it's pretty easy. Yeah.
What's up, Bralen? Nick Douglas here. We talked a little bit at the game about your journey up to this point with Washington, the ups and downs and finally reaching a chance to go 15-0. Talk to me a little bit about the culture and the buy-in of this program. You saw guys like Mike come back for a 6th year, guys like Rome spurn away the NFL for one more shot, and now we're here. Talk to me about the culture and the buy-in that exists in and around this program.
Yeah, I was saying it earlier, but our coaches showed up and they proved to us that they wanted to change the culture. They wanted to turn things around and give us a new, a brand or a new name to UW football. And it was easy for a lot of us to buy in because they were trustworthy. For me, it was off rip. I was able to buy in. I knew I could trust them. For some guys, it was a little harder, but over time, you started to see that more and more and more as we trained, as we practiced. And I think it's a huge part of why guys stayed around, especially, besides the buy-in for the culture. There's the culture that involves the locker room culture, the team culture, the brotherhood, and that's a huge aspect of why dudes stayed around.
So I'm someone that covers a lot of different high school athletes and as well as early college athletes.
Yeah.
Do you have a message for a lot of the younger players that are looking into going to the West Coast and playing football in a conference that's going to be, a national conference like the Big Ten?
Yeah. I would say is don't listen to what nobody says about the West Coast. We're just as good as everybody else, just as tough as everybody else. For the young guys out there, just keep playing, trust the process, trust God, and keep working, right? Yeah. Thank you. That's what that. I was like, I swear I could smell popcorn. I seen a bag of popcorn. Yeah. What's up, man?
All right,
we are here with very talented edge defender Bralen Trice. Bralen, how's travel been this week? You know, probably feels like a quick week off from New Orleans back home and getting here to Houston. How's the body feel?
Body feels good right now. Just a lot of treatment, taking care of myself, right? It was a weird transition, you know, going straight from New Orleans to home for like 2 weeks, or 2 days, sorry, 2 weeks, to straight back to here. But you know, it's awesome that we get the opportunity to even do that, right? But yeah, we're doing all the right things to take care of our bodies, take care of our minds through this process. So.
Obviously a veteran group, you got a lot of guys that played a lot of football. That probably helps a situation like this, knowing that you've got a veteran group, mature group that can handle going back home, coming here on 2 days, letting the coaches get the game plan together before they got here today.
Yeah, like I said before, it's important that we have all these mature guys and all these guys that stick around, right? It plays a big part in our culture and it plays a big part in why we've been successful. So, you know, it wasn't too hard for us to trust, you know, going home for 2 days and coming back and knowing the coaches were game planning because we knew it was right for us. We knew it was right for the coaches to get us ready for this next game. And
hey, you told me, you said, you know, last week staying off Bourbon Street, all the temptations of New Orleans, where you certainly did that. 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss. The great game by you. Felt like you were truly in that zone and probably feel like you're in the best form of the season, and that's hard to do at the end of the season.
Yeah, it's hard to do. You know, I've been beat up the whole season. My body's been hurting, but towards the end of the season, I don't know. It's weird. I feel good. My body feels good. Mentally, I feel good, and I feel prepared for anything that comes my way on the field. And I know all the guys around me feel the same way, so it's a good feeling.
All right, so last one. I know you're going against a really good offensive line from Michigan, but you get a chance to go against the Joe Moore award-winning offensive line every single day in practice. Do you feel like your unit, one, maybe they get the respect that they deserve and prepares y'all as a defensive line for every single game, knowing that the best in the country?
Yeah, they definitely deserve that respect. They deserve that award. They're the best O-line I've gone against. And going against them every day just gives us that next level of preparation. Every single guy on that O-line is probably one of the toughest, most mentally sound dudes that I've seen on the field as an O-lineman. So I've seen many O-linemen, you know, obviously through my career, and going against them in practice, I'm like, if I was playing you guys in the game, it'd be pretty tough, right?
All right, there he is, edge rusher, Bralen Trice. Let's go to Chris.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Let's go get this thing, yeah. How much more time we got on this? 9 minutes? Okay. Yeah. What building are we at, by the way? Is this just a convention center? Yeah. Yeah. Hey, man. Bro, can you grab me one?
What's color? White or
Yeah. Appreciate you. Let's go. I've been looking for one of those.
Hi, my name is Paige. I'm a student athlete at University of Louisville. And I just want to know, what is your dream NIL deal?
Dream NIL deal? It would probably be with a fishing company. You know, just fishing rods and outdoor equipment. I love doing all that. Camping, backpacking, fishing, all that. So that'd be pretty awesome to get a deal like that. Yeah, thank you.
Any specific brand?
Any specific brand? Nah. Orvis would be pretty dope. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Just had the chance to talk to Casey about yourself for a little bit. Can I just get the player perspective on what the social media channels have looked like for you guys as a team and kind of what the work he's been doing means to all of you guys?
They really stepped it up, honestly. Casey's the best media dude I've ever seen at this level. he does a great job of putting videos together, pictures, edits. If you go on our social media platforms, right, you'll see all of it, all the cool little album edits, the vinyl edits. But yeah, he's really, he cares about our team on another level. He's not just, I'm just making videos for these guys, whatever. Nah, he loves the team. He loves his job. He loves what he's doing. And not just him, but everybody else surrounding him has that same mindset. So I think it's great that we have them doing our media. And Casey does an amazing job. Hadley does an amazing job. Klein, everybody in that area does that really well. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm good. How are you? Thank you so much.
Okay, I remember the Michigan sidelines. Curious about how you guys will. I know, right? How do you guys tackle like more easy
Yeah. Something we just always like.
Ladies and gentlemen, there are 5 minutes remaining in the Washington media session. 5 minutes remaining.
Spin off the tackle, run it too high if your hands are too wide. So it's important that you really stick to your front line.
Have you guys watched video already and started this, or how close to the game are you?
Obviously, we watched a lot of film, a lot of video, and been working on it every day. We work on tackling every day. That's kind of like a standard for us.
You're on tackling contact every day?
Every day. Not contact, but wrapping up. Even if we're not hitting, it's, we're working on our form, we're working on our footwork, so. Yeah. Thank you.
If you have heard the term girl dinner, and if you have, what is your go-to girl dinner?
Girl dinner? Nah, I never heard it.
Okay.
I'd love to hear what it is, though.
It's basically like when you get home, you don't want to cook anything, so you just throw a bunch of random things together.
Oh.
One of the guys was like, I literally just eat gummy bears till I fall asleep.
Yeah, I'll eat sweet tarts, spicy or hot Cheetos. The lime ones, though, you can't get the regular ones. Those aren't right. You ever had those shortbread cookies that come in the blue tin? Yeah, those go crazy. Yeah, those, vitamin water, and then that's pretty much it. But I don't do that too often because the next morning you wake up and your stomach's on fire. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is there some sadness to the Pac-12? You were
Sadness to the Pac-12 being gone? Leaving?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Pac-12 not being
dispersing, yeah. I love being a part of it. I love the Pac-12. I love the people involved in it. I love the fans. It's definitely sad that it's breaking apart. I don't want to see it go because I wish that I was able to, leave my legacy, come back and watch Pac-12 games. Obviously see that conference thrive as it should. But two of its greatest seasons in the last 2 years, so it's kind of like confusing to me, obviously, that we're going to be dispersing the Pac-12 up, but maybe one day it'll make a comeback somehow, some way. But I look forward to seeing where everybody goes, or seeing where everybody goes in the future with all these teams in the Pac-12.